Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make paper rip transitions. To sell this effect even more, I like to use paper rip sound effects. I created a full free pack for you guys to download below in the description. Further ado, let's get into the video. So now that we're in Premiere, we should have our two clips side by side. This is what it should look like. And so what you want to do is move to the cut. So once we're at this cut, we're going to want to overlay this first clip over top of the second. So we're going to do this by moving 9 frames to the right. So just using your arrow key on the keyboard, we're going to move 9 frames. Once we do that, we're going to drag out our first clip over top of our second. Then we're going to go to the start of where the overlay begins, and we're going to make a cut there. Once we do that, we're going to start by taking our screenshots. So we're going to make a screenshot here by clicking this export frame button. Once we do this, we're going to have to align our path with whatever folder we want. I already have it set. And so what we're going to do is we're going to move 2 frames to the right. Then we're going to screenshot. And we're going to do this so on until our clip ends. Once we have our top clip here with our screenshots, we're going to drag all the way back to the start again. But this time we're going to hide the top layer, so we just have the bottom. Once we have just the bottom, we're going to do the same process. So we're going to screenshot, and then we're going to move 2 frames to the right, screenshot, 2 frames, and so on. Once we have all our screenshots, we're going to go to the folder where we saved them at. We have them here, and so what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to make folders for each one. So we'll have a folder named 1, and then we'll title the second one 2. And so what we're going to want to do is we're going to select all the ones from the top clip here, drag it into one of the folders, and then we're going to do the bottom layer here. So once we have these here, we can open up our Photos app and go to our folders, and we can add a folder. And so what we want to do is we have to just find our folder. So it's right here. We'll add folder 1, and then once that's done, we'll add folder 2 as well. So both of these folders are in here. We're going to go ahead and print these out. So just by holding Shift, print, and then we're going to go down to shrink to fit here, more settings, and we're going to want to click pages per sheet to 6. It's key here to have, whenever you print these, to have them at the same size. So you're going to want to print these. Now that we have our first folder printed, we're going to want to do the same process but for our second folder. So we're going to want to select all of these, make sure this is at oldest again, right click and print. We're going to want to make sure it's also set at 6 pages per sheet. Alright, so now that our frames are printed out, you're going to have 2 sheets here. This is going to be the bottom layer, and then this one is going to be the top layer. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get our bottom layer and we're going to put that aside right now. And so we're going to work on this top layer here. And so what I have here is an X-Acto knife. You don't need this, but it is definitely very helpful. So our frames go from top to bottom here. And so we're going to start the rip here. And then by the time we get to here, this frame is not even going to exist anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a rip from below to top. So what we're going to do here is we are going to make a couple cuts. We're going to make one down here, and then we're going to make one up just slightly a bit. And so what we're going to do is just fold this part up here, and we are just going to rip across. So there is our first rip, and what we're going to do is we're progressively going to make this rip higher and higher on the frame. So we're going to do the same thing here. Just cut this bottom. And we are going to move a little bit higher up on these cuts on the side though. So once we have that here, we are going to do the same concept, and we are just going to rip. So there's our second rip, And so we are going to do this for this frame as well, and this one, and then this one we are just going to cut out. So once I get these done, I'm going to get back to you. Alright, so now that we have our last frame here, we want nothing in this frame. So what we're going to do is we're just going to completely cut out this whole frame. So now that we have this whole thing cut out, what we're going to do is we're going to take our bottom layer clip here, and we are just going to overlay this top one here. So this is what it should look like. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to scan this over top. So either you could place this in your scanner and just have the corners lined up, or what you can do is you can either glue this onto here or just tape it. Just make sure that all the papers are lined up correctly. And so we are going to scan this and get back to you in the computer. We have our scan uploaded to our computer. What we're going to want to do is put this over our overlaid section. And so what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to rotate and scale it to size. So we're going to want to start at this top left where our animation kind of begins, and we're going to line up this left corner here just like that. And so what we're going to want to do is move 2 frames to the right with the arrow keys, 1, 2. We'll just keep doing that and chop up this whole clip here. And so what we're going to want to do now is go to our second clip, and we are going to reframe that so it matches up with the second one. We'll do the same thing with the third, but instead we'll go all the way over, line that up again. And then for this part right here, these are our lower clips. So what we're going to do is start here and just move down right away and line this up. We're going to want to copy this motion here, and then we're going to want to paste it to that second clip, and we are going to move it over, line that up here, and there's what your effect looks like. What we can do now to sell the effect a little bit more is add a paper rip sound effect. So in the description is a link. You could download that link and it'll give you this folder. So in this folder there's multiple rip sound effects. I'm going to choose rip number 8. So I'm going to drag that audio to the start of where my effect begins. Right here I just placed just a simple audio beat or whatever to add just kind of that music element to it, as well as the rip. So this is what it sounds like. What you can do here is go to your audio clip as well, and what you can do is you could lower your regular music and then kind of have your sound effect either higher or lower and just play around with that as well. Just depends on how apparent you want your rip. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you were able to learn something, I'd really appreciate it if you could share this with someone who might have an interest in this kind of stuff. Comment down below what effects you want me to do tutorials on next. If you want to see more of my work, check out my Instagram at creativeflow.mp4. Thank you guys again for watching. Take care.